Well, hello everyone. So good to see you. I want to share this moment with all of you because this is about all of you. And today we have an amazing announcement from Doula Givers Institute. And I want to share why this is so important. And I want to share who this is for. And I want to thank you for all of the comments and support and community that's in this space regarding changing end of life to be better and life. I want to let's first remind each other that when we talk about a positive end of life, we're talking about a positive life. They're not exclusive of one another. Somebody just posted, I'm going to read her comment. And I'm just reading the live stream because we are live on here. So I want to answer all of your questions, but I also want you to know when we are talking about the end of life, we are talking about life. And so many people will say, and somebody just posted today, and let me bring that up. It was just a post that was on one of our Facebooks, and it kind of sums up everything that I want to share with you of why this is so important and the full spectrum of what this conversation and community, what it means and what it can do. So this beautiful woman, Kim, she wrote about the Doula Givers training, that my training with the Doula Givers has made a huge difference for my end of life times with family members, dear friends, caregiver friends, and even myself, lately going through my second bout with cancer and recently a heart incident. This is life learning as well as end of life learning. Big thanks to Suzanne and all those in your circle. So this is what I want to tell you, that when you come here, when we meet in presence, we're learning about life, we're talking about life, because often people will say, well, Suzanne, what makes a positive end of life? And it really is a positive life. And what does that mean? So let me first share with you this very special day. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being part of this movement and for the inspiration and feedback that all of you have brought to this platform, to Doula Givers Institute, to sharing with us what you need to care for your families, what you're asking for, what is not working. And today we're releasing the Death Doula Confident Caregiver course for family caregivers. And that is going to change everything. And I want to explain to you why. This is the exact same course, content wise, education wise, empowerment wise, that is in our certified end of life doula training. But it's now designed for family caregivers, and it's for a fraction of the cost. So what happened is that we have been on this mission for 2 decades, working with end-of-life doulas, a pioneer, and I'm so grateful and honored to be a pioneer in the end-of-life doula movement, coming up with that concept, building that non-medical holistic practitioner to fill in the space and hold the space, guiding that entire family like a birthing doula, but at the end of life. And now what we're seeing, though, is that every single day, and I want to tell you this, I get messages every single day still, and I work so hard, my team and myself, and I know so many others in this space are working so hard to make end of life better. We can't go back and do it again. And every single day I'm getting emails and posts that it didn't go well. Why did this happen? I didn't have hospice there. I didn't have the education. I didn't know what I was doing. I'm full of regret and stuck in complicated grief and all of it. And still working so hard on this. How can we make this? What is needed here? And here's the reality, that family caregivers are required to do 98% of the hands-on care for someone at the end of life. That means you. And all of us, including me, not as a nurse, not as an end-of-life doula, but me as a daughter. Me as a daughter, I'm going to be called to care for my parents at the end of life and those that I love. And thank goodness I have the skills to do that. It's still going to be challenging, but I have the skills to do that. But for those who don't have that, we expect you, even with hospice care, we expect the families to do the hands-on care. That's how the model works. And so this is critically important to share with you, that knowing how to do that, having the skills to do that, changes everything for that end of life. And I'm going to promise you this, that 80 to 90% of an end of life can go better with 2 things: with planning ahead and with the basic understanding of what it takes to care for somebody at the end of life. And both of these are in the Confident Caregiver course. 80 to 90% no matter what the disease process is. And so finally, we were able to really mobilize our team and say, okay, what is the most critical need? We have 78 million people over the age of 65 in the United States alone. They're elderly everywhere. 9 out of 10 people want to be cared for at home when they become terminally ill at the end of life. 9 out of 10. What can we do to support them to be able to do that, but for the family caregiver to be able to do that and do that confidently and do that well? Because you will never regret showing up and caring for someone you love at the end of life. Knowing how to do that changes everything. So today I want to celebrate with you, and I want to answer all of your questions, and I want to just be here in presence with you to know that this is something that binds us in our humanity, that we will all be touched by end of life with those we love and with ourselves. But I want to tell you this, that I have been doing this for a very long time. And I've been honored to be with over 1,000 people at the end of life. And I know what the elements were that made that end of life go well. And it is possible for it to not only go well, to go really well. And for something that's 100% guaranteed for each and every one of us, and we have one shot at it. Why wouldn't we want to know what can make that go well? And I also want to share with you that end of life right now is the number one fear, and it doesn't need to be. It can be your greatest inspiration about life, learning about presence, learning about purpose, learning about non-judgment and compassion with one another. And we've removed that. So this is a moment. This is a very, very special moment of this course being released. So again, remember that this is the entire education that's in our certified training for practitioners, but for family caregivers. And it's divided into 3 sections. So I want to share the sections because this is critically important. Whether you decide to take this training or not, and I hope that you do, Doula Givers Institute gives so many free resources. So everything that I really try and show up with is supposed to give you value. And I want you to listen to these 3 sections because if anything else, I want you to really understand the components of being a confident caregiver. And so what can help you regardless of taking a full training, which again, I hope that you do, and I'll tell you why it's so important. But I want you to know these 3 factors because this is everything. So this is divided, this training, into 3 separate sections. Number 1 is before. And what did I just say a minute ago? That 80 to 90% of a positive, 80 to 90%, that's practically 100 of a positive end of life is these 2 things, depends on 2 things, planning ahead and learning the basic skills of how to care for somebody at the end of life. And both of these are in this program. So the before section is really exciting because it's an advanced directive that we have created based on 9 choices that people need to make that change everything for an end of life journey. So you want your loved ones to answer these 9 questions. You want yourself to answer these 9 choices. They're going to be different for each and every one of us, but it encompasses absolutely everything. And why did we develop our own advanced directive? Because here's a Doula Giver's pearl for you, and there's lots of pearls in this training, is that an advanced directive is not legally binding. And I know that can be alarming, but it's empowering to know the truth about things. So if you do an advanced directive and you have it witnessed or notarized, and that's great to do, that it's not legally binding, meaning that the doctor doesn't have to follow it by law, and the law is on their side. However, there's lots of ways to make sure that this is known, your wishes, and also I have something for you that teaches you how to make it an actual medical order that has to be followed by law. But the importance of you making these choices and sharing them with your loved ones. Where would you want to be at home? We just said 9 out of 10 people want to be at home at the end of life. What would make it possible for your loved ones to be able to do that confidently, to do that feeling secure? I had one woman, and she was such an amazing woman. She was like 88 years old. She came to my death cafes over a decade ago, not ill, paid me to teach her children who were in their 50s how to care for her at the end of life because she wanted them to be supported, empowered, confident in their caregiving skills. I mean, that's That's amazing, right? And so think about your loved ones and think about you. If you want to be at home, which most of us do, who would be doing that care? What do they need to know to feel supported to do that care? So we have questions that we need to address in order for that time when it comes, that it's so much better. And it can be, again, choosing ahead. So the 9 questions, and why did we develop our own advanced directive? Because there's never been one, and I searched high and low because I've been doing this a long time. I've also listened and seen what makes a positive end of life that has been in its completion, everything that people need to think about and answer for that positive end of life that we have one chance at. So the beginning is before, and those are the 9 questions. It's called the 9 choices document. And I'm having my family go through it right now. And I'm going to tell you this, my parents, who are both 85, love them to death, finally said to me that they both want a natural burial and where. I have to tell you that lifted a weight off me. And you would think because I do this left and right and know this in my sleep and this is my life's purpose, that all those ducks would already be in a row. And they're not always, because I have to meet people where they are and I have to ask them what they want and make sure they're making informed decisions. And this conversation can be hard for people and scary to step into. It doesn't have to be. But by them choosing that and letting me know that and where, the amount of peace that one, and we have other things we have to go through, but that one piece, so I know I can support them in what their wishes are, and I don't have to try and figure it out. And it feels empowered to be able to support them in that is everything. So again, these 9 choices that you're going to ask your loved one allow you to have that blueprint on how to support them in their wishes, in their journey, in one of the most important times in their life. So there's the before, that's the first part. The second part is during. So this is set up where if you, again, are in the middle, somebody has a terminal diagnosis and you need this right away, you go right to the during section. It's going to give you the 3 phases of end of life, but it also is going to have pain management assessment, because I will tell you right now, one of the most missed areas of care by families is the pain management. And I get it. I get it. Hospice is supposed to teach that several times. You don't know how to do it. You're overwhelmed. You're frozen in that, stress. And I can't tell you how many people have died being in pain or having breathing issues because the families didn't know how to do the medications. And so understanding that is critically important. So the during is going to be the 3 phases of end of life, the medication administration, and pain assessment. Because another doula giver's pearl, I'm going to drop it on you now, is that pain works like this. It goes up, it starts to go up, and you've got to cut it off before it gets too high. If it gets too high, and you need to hold on to this, remember this. If pain gets too high, you can throw as much narcotic at that pain and it's impossible to bring it down. It'll take forever to bring it back down. So you've got to get that pain as it's going up. So that's a doula giver's pearl as well. And then the after is there's all these beautiful ways now of what I call dying to be green and death is having a rebirth, about home wakes and life celebrations and memorials and doing, we have some goodies in here. So one, I'm going to drop it on you now as well, is there is a woman, Shotzi Weisberger, and she was my co-host at the Death Cafe we used to run in New York City on the Upper West Side for years until COVID shut it down. She's an absolute example and a rock star. She's a death educator. She's a former nurse. And she had what you call a funeral, a living wake, a funeral with over 100 people. I was honored to be there. It was amazing. I share this in the Confident Caregiver. It's so good. In the Confident Caregiver course, it was full of love. It was empowering. People were just showering love on her. And, this example of how an end of life can be a celebration, not just with your loved ones, but with yourself, if we looked at it a different way. And somebody recently put a comment on my post saying that they have heard that your birthday is one day, and then the day that you take your final breath is another birthday. And I love that. your second birthday, the day you transition, is a second birthday into the next journey that you are on in this world. And I fully believe that. How beautiful if we can change our perception and our perspective of end of life by more of a honoring that life that was lived, loving that person, celebrating them, because it's all there and it's all true. So the last part is talking about aquamations, water cremations, the new environmentally friendly option. There's also a part in there, there's a resource section. So in addition to the 3 sections, there's a whole resource section that has 13 modules that are packed with incredible information. One is how to donate your body for $0, how you can actually have an end of life that costs nothing, and you can be of incredible service to our medical professional. I'm choosing that. Well, it's right up there, so I want to choose that with a water cremation after for environmentally sound, because of the ripple effect of good that does. I'm never telling anyone what they should choose, but you need to know these options. So it's listing out all of the options, what things cost, and their environmental impact. There's also a wills and trusts 101. So the basic understanding about what probate is, what a will is, what a trust is. Do not shy away or get overwhelmed because you don't think you can understand that, or because you feel it's expensive to implement. It's not. And it's such an important thing to do for you and your loved ones. So this course is amazing. And I'm going to give you everything I can and answer every question that I have so that you and your family have all the support that you need. So here's what I want to say to you. If you have any questions about anything, let me know. We're here to help you. We have one opportunity to have end of life go well for our families, for ourselves, and it can really well with the right education, support, and kindness. And we're here to provide that to you. So leave me a question below, anything. You can ask me anything. And if you want information on, we just launched this course and we're doing a launch this week till Sunday. If you want more information, and I hope you do, on the Confident Caregiver course, write Caregiver in the comments, and I'm going to send you a direct link to that course information. So again, if you want more information to the Confident Caregiver course, write Caregiver in the comments below, and I'm going to send you a direct link. And please put any of your questions there. We're here to help you. End of life can be the sacred, natural experience it was meant to be. I love you so very much, everyone, and I'll see you in the comments. Thanks, bye. Have a good day.